up and welcome to the Beneath the Dirt podcast. I'm your host, Ron Bone. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 154 in the high. What's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. Whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcasting app, much love and what is really good. And what is really good, man? We fucking chilling out here. All that good stuff. A lot of shit to talk about this week. Some music. A little bit of some posts I caught on fucking Instagrams and the Twitters and all that. We got a bunch of shit to talk about this week. Thank you again for tuning in. Super appreciated. Much fucking love. And I want to give a big shout out to Nerd Wicked. Came through with the donation this week. They say, give my boy Gibby Stites another chance. And where's the Beneath the Dirt merch, bitch? Hey! Watch your fucking mouth. Bitch, it's coming. I don't know when, and I've been saying it's coming for like a year. Truth be told, I've printed up some shirts. I have some test shirts just to see, with these companies online, and they all suck. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to merch. Truth be told, I have no fucking idea. And I've printed up, I think, 3 shirts so far, just to test them out, see the quality of it, and they all suck. Straight the fuck up. They were ass. Looked like shit. You put them in the wash a few times, and the fucking logo starts, the screen print, whatever the fuck, starts peeling. I don't know what it, I'm not going to go through no Teespring bullshit. None of that shit. That's all cheap bullshit. I tried it. Not going to do it. Not going to do the cheap shit. So I don't know, what the fuck I'm doing, honestly, when it comes to merch. And to print up t-shirts, it's fucking expensive. Really is. I just upgraded all, the setup here for the podcast to make the show look better, sound better, all that shit. I spent a lot of fucking money, doing that. But I don't really have, the funds right now to press up shirts. I do have, some donation money that has come in the past few weeks. And shout out to everybody that has donated. Like, I think we're on 3-4 weeks in a row getting donations. Like, we on a fucking donation train right now. Super dope. Super dope. Super appreciated. But I know people want merch. I don't get a lot of questions of, where's some t-shirts, hoodies. It comes in once every few months. So to me, I don't know. I don't know if there's a demand there for it. If there is a demand for Beneath the Dirt merch, if you want Beneath the Dirt merch, you're listening to this right now, let me know. Comment on the video on YouTube. Hit me up on my social medias if you're not watching on YouTube and you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. Hit me up on any of my socials. Let me know that you want merch. And it'll motivate me more to look into it and get it done. Because I feel like the demand really isn't there for it. And I got kind of discouraged when I got the few t-shirts done from these few companies that I went through, and they were ass. So maybe I got to hit up some people and figure out the merch situation. But shout out to Nerd Wicked for the donation. Super appreciated. And much fucking love, man. Again, anybody that has ever donated to the show has gone directly to making the show better. I got a few compliments in the last couple weeks since we've upgraded the camera, the little HD shit we got now, like real HD shit. The video doesn't stutter anymore. No more frozen frames and all that shit. And it's all because of the donations of, that I've got from people. And, it motivates me, getting the donation motivated me to upgrading the equipment. Motivate me on the merch by letting me know that you actually want it. I've only got the question a handful of times in the last year. Like I said, every few months someone asks, where's the merch at? So let me fucking know. Let me know. Let me know there's a demand, and I'll figure it out. I'll put those gears into fucking whatever and do it. Yeah. And we got a whole bunch of new music this week, a lot of new music this week. So let's get right into it with a couple songs that I was digging this week. We got Webby, Chris Webby, to be specific, dropped a brand new track with Jarren Benton. You know, we was just talking about Jarren Benton last week. This dude staying fucking dropping singles. Now he's featured on Chris Webby's single, and this single is up on the Beneath the Dirt Weekly Bumps playlist. Little plug, go follow that shit on Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube. The song's called Def Jam Vendetta, and it's a dope track. You know, first time I heard of Chris Webby was on, I think it was the Get Wasted 2 that was on the Get Twisted EP that Twiztid put out. I believe that was the first time I heard Chris Webby. And, you know, dude's not bad. Dude's pretty fucking talented, can rap. Got Jarren Benton on here. One of my favorite artists as of late, just because of all the fucking dope ass singles he's been dropping. And this song is dope. Def Jam Vendetta. Shout out to that video game. Remember that video game? Chris Webby on here dropping a ton of wrestling references on here. Same with Jarren Benton. It's a dope track. Peep the shit if you ain't peeped it. If you ain't familiar with Chris Webby, now the fuck you are, and you have no excuse to go bump the shit. So go peep it when you get the chance. Another track I was really digging this week was Trizz and Farazi. I don't know if that's saying it right, but the song's called Trigonometry, and this shit is fire. Trizz, another artist we've talked about before, West Coast. Love this dude's flow, and the beat is fire on here. If you like that smooth West Coast gangsta shit, Trizz is for you. Like, straight up. Like, this dude stays West Coast, stays on that, like, G-Funk type shit. Smooth, just, you know, music to drive by. Shout out to fucking Compton's Most Wanted. And yeah, peep the new Trizz and Farazi. Trigonometry. It's a dope track. So go peep that shit if you haven't already. Shout out to my cat in the background making its first appearance on the Beneath the Dirt podcast. Right there, if you're watching on YouTube, you could see her chilling on the couch back there. You know, with the new computer and new camera setup, it's a little bit of a different angle. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but it's a little bit different of an angle. I can actually shoot my entire room from this camera. Like, you could see my entire fucking room from this camera. So shout out to this little motherfucker right here. She's actually going blind. Like, in the last couple months. Yeah. Shout out to her. She can't really see that well anymore. You know, she's old as shit. Leave her alone. And let her clean herself on the fucking couch back there, dude. What the fuck, man? Super dope. All right, let's get into some more new music. All right. We got new Klick, Johnny Richter, Chucky Chuck, Obnoxious. Dropped a brand new single and video this past week. I believe they dropped it on Thursday. The video single dropped on Friday, I believe, on all DSPs. But we got new Klick, man. And this is the third song off the Klick EP. And this is another, you know, we was just talking about smooth West Coast G-Funk type shit. And that's what this song is right here. If you're coming into this Klick expecting like that Kumagai sound, like, I don't think Kumagai got anything to do with this Klick shit. But the production on this one, smooth West Coast shit, is a little bit different for at least Johnny Richter. Not so much Chucky Chuck and maybe not Obnoxious, but definitely a little bit different for Johnny Richter. But overall, it's a pretty good track. I do like We Want It All a little bit better. but I like this sub noise OG's tracks. And Chucky Chuck fucking kills it on here. This dude's leveling up with the bars. Leveling up with the bars, man. This dude absolutely killed his fucking verse on here. And it got me excited to see that this dude's like stepping it up with the multi-syllables and all that shit. Chucky Chuck murdered it on this Sub Noise OG's track. And I'm looking forward to this EP dropping October 1st in just a couple of weeks. We're just under 2 weeks away, about a week and a half out from the King Klick EP. Still waiting for that CD only pre-order option up on the, for the pre-orders. But I'm excited for it. The video, pretty dope video. Nothing special, but no, it's not a green screen special. Just, dope vibes from the video. And yeah, Richter, Chucky, Obnoxious. I'm looking forward to hearing how this entire EP is going to play out, So in just a couple of weeks, we'll fucking find out, man. We've got 3 songs out of the 6 that are on it. So we've got half the EP already before it has even dropped. We got Sub Noise OGs every day, and we want it all. So looking forward to it regardless. I played the fuck out of the We Want It All single. I'm not going to play the fuck out of this one. I didn't really play the fuck out of Every Day because I just don't really want to play out half the EP before it drops. But yeah, go peep that shit if you haven't peeped it yet. I dig it. Like I said, smooth West Coast G-Funk type shit. If you're expecting that old Cam K type sound, it's just forget that and just go into it with a fucking clean slate, clear fucking mind out, and all that shit. So yeah. And let's get into some, probably the best actual album, or at least my favorite album that dropped this week. And it's the only album I've listened to. I just want to give another little heads up. I'm now recording my podcast on Saturdays. It's easier. It's a lot less stressful than recording on Sundays. So now instead of getting 2 possible days to listen to music, I really only get 1 day to listen to new music. But that's not going to stop me from talking about the music, or anything like that, obviously. But I just want to throw that out there. I'm recording on Saturdays now just because it's easier, less stressful, but it does give me less time to digest new music. But I digested as much as I could in the last day. And I've fucking digested this album, or I've listened to it 3-4 times now already. And I'm talking about Rittz' new album, S.O.S, Sick of Suffering. It's out now. He kind of fucking just dropped this one out of nowhere. Last week, he announced that it was dropping this week. It came. I don't want to call this an album, actually. I want to call this an EP. 8 songs, 29 minutes. The only feature on here is Vinny Paz on Keep It Like That. And we all know I fucking love that song. That shit is a banger, produced by C-Lance. I can't wait for that Rittz and C-Lance album to drop. That shit's going to be dope. But Rittz, S.O.S, this dude caught a lot of heat this week as well online for the imagery for this album. He's on the cover, got the noose, and then he ended up posting an image of him like hanging by the noose with a plastic bag over his head. A lot of people caught in their feelings over the shit. A lot of sensitivity, man. There just really is. And I understand it's a sensitive subject, especially if you've lived through the shit, someone close to you, taking their own lives or anything like that. I could see why it could be triggering, but it borders that, the sensitive time that we're living in. But I get that it is a sensitive subject. And based on the imagery that we got for the album cover, him hanging from the noose like we just talked about, I thought we was just going to get some depressing ass music. for this entire EP. But we didn't really get a depressing project from Rittz. We got kind of this, I don't want to say the same old shit from Rittz, but I mean, I dig Rittz. I don't believe this dude has done any wrong really yet. And this album's dope. There are a couple tracks on here where it's some depressive type shit, but overall, I think the imagery that he's using for the album doesn't really represent the music that's on the album. Because we got bangers on here like La Familia. That shit is a fucking banger. That shit is super dope. But he does touch on a lot of, personal shit on this album. It's just not overly super depressive like I thought it was gonna be. But La Familia is a fucking banger. Maybe my early favorite on the track. I don't know. It's between that or Keep It Like That with Vinny Paz. I really fuck with that track. Super dope. But songs that, dive into more personal shit, Frozen Peas got a little bit of personal shit in there, Dig Deeper, and the title track, S.O.S. And then the last song on the album, Sick of Suffering, which is kind of like, I want to say a remix of S.O.S., but it's a rock remix. And it's not exactly a remix. It's kind of like a brand new song, but he takes elements from the S.O.S. song. I really like the S.O.S. song. I feel like he should have ended the EP with S.O.S. and not Sick of Suffering, only because of the rock element. And it just didn't really work within the album or just, in general for it. It doesn't really work. But S.O.S., towards the end of S.O.S., he starts screaming and yelling and shit. And then it goes into the Sick of Suffering track where he just kind of continues on with the yelling and the screaming and all that shit. But in my personal opinion, like I said, doesn't really work. The S.O.S. track is a fucking banger. That's some depressing shit right there. If you want depressing music, or if you were going into this album expecting some depressive shit because of the imagery, then, that's the song right there. And he should have left it off. But Rittz, man, super consistent, in my opinion. Ever since he dropped White Jesus, I fucks with White Jesus. My favorite album from Rittz, it used to be White Jesus, but it's probably The Life and Times of Johnny Valiant. But I mean, this dude really does stay consistent with all his albums that he dropped on Strange. Last year he dropped 2 projects with Picture Perfect and his Christmas album, Ritzmas. And Picture Perfect was one of my favorite albums, top 20 of 2020 for me. And this project, just listening to it a handful of times, S.O.S. is gonna get a lot more plays, man. I just fuck with Rittz. I really do. I just fuck with him. His music is super dope. Dude's super talented. Can rap, do the chopper shit and then slow it down like he did on Keep It Like That with Vinny Paz. He can really fucking switch it up, and it's super dope. Rittz is he's that dude, man, and I'm just glad to see him continuing fucking putting out music, staying consistent with the music. And he charted on the fucking iTunes hip hop charts. He debuted at #1 on the iTunes hip hop charts. Got the screenshot of it right here, above Drake's Certified Lover Boy, and above Kanye West Donda. But Rittz debuted at #1. I know he's still in the top 5 right now. I believe he was at #2 or #3 still. Last time I checked it, which was a few hours ago, I checked it earlier this morning, Saturday. So he was still on the iTunes hip hop charts in the top 5, holding strong a day later. Super dope. I'm glad, the support is there for Rittz with this new album. And it's dope, man. Peep the shit. Rittz killed it, man. I like the personal shit. He's always dived into or dove into personal shit on his music. And, it's a short listen. It's only 30 minutes long, but it's a dope listen. And I highly fucking suggest you peep it out, man. If you haven't listened to Rittz since he left Strange or even before that, you gotta give it another chance, man. You really do. Because that Picture Perfect album he dropped last year was fire. This new S.O.S project, super dope. And yeah, so go peep that shit. And speaking of the iTunes hip hop charts, Rittz debuting at number 1. You could see right there, debuting at number 5 is King ISO and awax, the Brazy Bunch, with the re-release, the deluxe edition, I guess you could call it, of Written in Blood. It's back out. It's up for streaming. I haven't got a chance to listen to it. I haven't even heard it since it dropped the first time. I remember when it dropped the first time, I had no idea it was even dropping. I felt like the shit came from out of nowhere. But it's back. We got, I think, four new tracks on here. And yeah, awax, King ISO, the Brazy Bunch, Written in Blood is back up on streaming. I believe if you bought it on iTunes, like if you actually paid for the songs, like the downloads didn't go away. I don't think that's allowed. Like, I believe if you buy some shit, you get to keep those downloads, regardless if they get taken off of the, whatever platform you bought them from. So I have seen a couple people talk about the new King ISO awax. I've seen people talk about it before, talking about it since it dropped, saying it's a good album. I got to dive into it at some point. But yeah, new awax, or the re-release deluxe edition awax, King ISO. It Goes Up Entertainment. Strange had to, step in and get their little slice of the pie on this album. They couldn't let King ISO just go out there and do his own fucking thing. They had to step in and get their slice of the pie. But yeah, that's out there now officially. Doesn't look like it's going to get taken down again. It was a one-time deal of that shit getting taken down. And then King ISO actually went to Instagram. And I think I saw it up on Facebook as well. He made a post tagging X-Rated, saying, "Yo, X-Rated, check your email," with a little purple devil smiley face emoji. And then X-Rated commented with the little, the little side eye thing, little side eye action. It's looking like we're going to get an X-Rated and King ISO track, possibly on King ISO's new album. I don't think King ISO has revealed an album title for the new album yet, but I'm hyped for it. His last album, World War Me, was fucking fire. I love that album. Definitely looking forward to new King ISO. Probably the best artist on Strange right now, even above Tech Nine. But we're waiting for that new Tech Nine Asinine album. Maybe that'll change. I think it goes back and forth for me personally between King ISO and Tech Nine. Tech Nine, one of my all-time favorites. I say it all the time, but yeah. Could we be getting X-Rated? X-Rated is a free man as of a couple years ago. Fucking spent a lot of time in behind bars and shit. But yeah, he's a free man. I know he's dropped a couple projects. I listened to one of them. Sounded pretty fucking good. And yeah, King ISO X-Rated. I asked on Instagram and Twitter and all that shit, needed to keep it. I say we need that collaboration. I think we need X-Rated and King ISO. So yeah, peep that shit. Or it could be a collaboration for X-Rated album. Who the fuck knows? But it's looking like we are getting some King ISO X-Rated shit in the near future. And keeping it Strange related, I saw this graphic go up. Said dropping soon, no release date, Maze 301, Tech 9, Let Up, singles coming soon. Don't know when, but it is coming soon. Saw that graphic, so I figured I'd talk about that shit real quick. So Maze 301 looks like he's going to be pumping out another fucking album. This dude just drops albums like every 8 months, it feels like. But yeah, that'll be dropping soon. And then keeping it kind of Strange music related, but maybe not so much anymore. Jelly Roll he dropped a new album this week. I didn't listen to it, and truth be told, I'm not a huge Jelly Roll fan, but I've really liked his feature on the Nina album. Like, he stole the show on that song. I love that feature on that song. But Jelly Roll, I know a lot of people that listen to the podcast like Jelly Roll. A lot of people that follow me on my social medias fucks with Jelly Roll heavy. So I figured I'd talk about his new album. He dropped Ballads of the Broken. From what I saw him post online, saying this is all singing, no rapping on here, just all singing from Jelly Roll. So I might have to give it a try because he was singing on that Tech Nine track and it was fire. But it got me to thinking, King ISO and awax dropped that brazy bunch through It Goes Up Entertainment. And at one point, Jelly Roll was with It Goes Entertainment. It would appear that he's no longer It Goes Up Entertainment. There's nothing in the record label, on iTunes or Apple Music. They always give where, the record label where it comes from. I didn't see Strange Music promote this. I didn't see It Goes Up Entertainment promotes this. So it looks like that little It Goes Up Entertainment signing or run was a very short stint, not long lived with Jelly Roll. And to be honest, I don't think this dude needs a fucking record label. I saw him posting up. He was in Texas somewhere, playing to 8,000 people or some shit. This dude plays to sold out shows of 8,000 people. That's fucking wild. That's fucking crazy. That's huge. Huge. That's a lot of fucking people, man. But yeah, so he's playing to huge fucking crowds on his own. I don't think this dude needs a fucking record label. This dude's only getting bigger and bigger. Remember when Jelly Roll opened up for ICP on shit? What tour was that? That was the tour I believe that had Killjoy Club on there. Who else was on there? I think Lil White was on that show as well. Maybe, maybe not. Might have just been Jelly Roll. But I think Killjoy Club was on that tour. Was that the Marvelous Missing Link tour? Or, yeah, it had to have been, right? Because that was around the time Killjoy Club came out, or right before the Missing Link. But, I mean, he went from opening up for fucking ICP. I think he's done shows with Twiztid. But this dude's rise to fucking, stardom, I guess. Like, I feel like this dude's still growing. Like, you want to talk about crossover appeal? Jelly Roll is the definition of that shit. With his country kind of style, the country raps, the singing and all that shit. Like, the crossover appeal with Jelly Roll is very fucking real. And this dude's blowing the fuck up. And, shout out to him for that shit. But yeah, new Jelly Roll album, Ballads of the Broken. Out now, all DSPs, all that good shit. I don't think he does hard copies. I could be wrong. I have no idea. But yeah, seeing a lot of love for that album online as well. Yeah, peep that shit. And then let's break away from the new music real quick. This is something I saw online on Facebook, actually, that I thought was pretty interesting and worth a discussion, or at least the question. Would you pay $100 for a CD or a mixtape, an album, whatever? Would you pay $100 for a CD? In this day and age, it's becoming a lot more common. But let's go back to where this started. Caskey dropped the $100 mixtape a couple weeks back. He put up a pre-order for the first 500 copies. A couple weeks back, them shit sold out in like hours. And then he put up another 500, making it a total of 1,000 copies last week for the $100 mixtape. Like, legit $100 for this CD, and sold out of it within a day. So within I'll say 2 days, this dude sold out of 1,000 copies of a $100 mixtape. And I asked, actually, I didn't ask shit. Someone was talking shit on his Facebook saying, hey, why the fuck are you charging $100? You're abandoning your fans and all this shit. Caskey wrote, homie, one thing you can't do is make me feel bad for charging any price for my art. Such a weird, entitled mind state that I'm somehow wrong for this in a world where artists are paid a fraction of a cent for a stream. And that's facts. Artists are paid shit for a stream on Spotify, Apple Music, all that shit. He goes on to say, to think that anyone would stop fucking with me for making an exclusive piece of art for people who could afford it when my whole career I've put out music for free. But hey, do you, homie? And I asked the question on social media, is Caskey speaking facts or is he capping on this shit? Me personally, this dude has a legit fucking point, you know? $100 mixtape. If you can afford the $100 mixtape, you're gonna buy the $100 mixtape. I saw a lot of good points from people online as well. I could see both sides of the fence because shit, a year ago I was complaining about Conway the Machine charging $100 for a CD. And I remember he put them up for sale, they sold out, and then a couple months later he put them up again, and by that time it was like clear that that was my album of the year, and I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna drop the $100 for this CD. Like, I gotta have this CD. I fucking love this album so much. I'm not gonna miss the chance again. And I paid $100 for the Conway the Machine from King to a God. So I could see both sides of the fence here. I could see, fuck paying $100 for a mixtape. Just because, for a CD, just because it's $100. It's fucking expensive, man. Like $100 for the average person. That ain't some shit to fucking just like cough up for a fucking CD, But if you can afford it, why the fuck not? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna take the side of the artist on this shit. A lot of people, when I asked the question, were like, fuck that shit. That shit's bullshit. I mean, ICP's doing it right now with the Walking Home series. They're charging $117 for a CD, basically a CD and a comic book and a couple other pieces of merch. But $100 for some shit that you probably could get for like 30, 40 bucks. But I'm gonna take the side of the artist on this shit. We are in the day and age right now where artists make most of their money touring. That's just a giving. They don't make that much money off streams, depending on how many fucking streams you get, right? So charging $100 for a mixtape, although steep, if you're a fucking diehard fan and you can afford the shit, why not? If you can't afford it, and the artist is making it clear that, hey, this isn't for everybody. And if you can't afford it, it's all good. And if you can, even better. So I'm going to take the side of the artist because not only did I buy the Conway the Machine from King to a God album for $100, he put out the deluxe edition, and that was also $100. I also bought that. And I'm trying to think of other expensive ass shit that people put out, exclusive shit. You can count the VIPs and all that, but this is a way for the artist to give the fans something exclusive, at least in Caskey's position right here, where there's only 1,000 of this mixtape, never to be pressed, never to be put online as well. Like, this is exclusive to the 1,000 people that bought it. Like I said, I could see both sides of the fence because $100 is fucking expensive, man. It really is. But if you can afford it and you fucks with the artist that heavy, then all the fucking power to you, man. Seriously, and all power to the artist to be able to do this shit. I've talked a lot of shit. I've given a lot of shit for overcharging and overpricing for shit. But hey, this is it. This is the kind of the world we live in right now, especially with the the pandemic and all that shit. I was giving ICP a lot of shit for charging hundreds of dollars for a concert ticket when they were doing like Hollowicked, Big Ballers, and all that shit. Hey, in retrospect, looking back on it, I'd have to go back on my statements of saying, hey, this is bullshit. You shouldn't be doing this to the fans. This is for the fans who can afford it. And if the artist can get away with it, then so fucking be it, man. So fucking be it. It might be rough and it might suck if you can't afford it. It might suck that you can't get these exclusive items or attend these exclusive events, but I think that's what you got to do when it comes to shit that just isn't meant to be for fucking everybody. It's unfortunate. And, as far as concerts go, I'm not going to spend $100 plus. I'm just not. But I will spend $100 on a little piece of, circular plastic and possibly a fucking cardboard sleeve for $100. So, I pick and choose my battles. I'll pay for the music. I'll pay for that art because it is art. I don't think there should be a price limit on an artist's work, whether it be paintings, music, drawings, anything like that. And this goes against everything I've fucking said before. Complaining about fucking CDs, Ouija Mac charging $20 for a CD that comes in a cardboard sleeve. But who the fuck am I to tell him what to fucking charge for his art? I could see it. Like, I could see it from that side, and I'm going to take that side. I think maybe as a creator, and the deeper I get into this shit, the amount of time that it takes to put out a piece of art. This podcast, all 154 episodes I've ever done, each episode is a piece of art. Whether you want to look at it that way or not, it is what it is. The amount of time that goes into the shit, you can't tell an artist what to charge or what not to charge for their art. It's their fucking art. Buy it or don't. I'm completely switching my fucking stance on that shit. And I bitched and complained so fucking much about a whole lot of shit, quote unquote, being overcharged for music. But I'm going to walk it all back. I really am. I'm just going to walk all that shit talking that I did back because it is what it is. Buy it or fucking don't. I still, I just got the Ouija Mac Shit for Brains mixtape. That was a $20 mixtape, again in a cardboard sleeve. A year ago, I would have been bitching and complaining about it, but now it's like, hey, it's art. It's the art. It is what it is. And, would I at least like it to see in a jewel case and shit like that? Still, yes, of course. But I'm still willing to drop $20 for a piece of plastic in a cardboard sleeve because of the art that is contained on that piece of plastic. So yeah, I'm gonna walk back all that shit. I stand behind the artists charging whatever the fuck they want because that's their right, and they can charge whatever the fuck they want. So yeah. That's a big walk back for me because I did a lot of bitching and complaining. But hey, I'm only fucking human, man. I contradict myself all the fucking time. I listen back to these podcasts and I'm like, bro, I was saying some different shit just a few months ago, but I think that's just part of being fucking a person, right? you could change your fucking mind about shit. So I don't know. I just think it is what it is. You either gonna drop the $100 or you're not. I don't know. I thought it was a nice little fucking topic to discuss on this week's episode. And maybe I should have made that the fucking cover of this week's show, considering I just spent so much fucking time talking about it. But I fucks with that Rittz album, so I'm gonna keep it uh the way it is because that Rittz album's fire. Peep that shit. And shout out to Caskey for fucking selling out of 1,000 copies of 100,000. No, selling $1,000. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying right now. Selling 1,000 copies of $100 mixtape, getting that quick 100 grand, man. That dude don't have to work for the rest of the year. He could take the rest of the fucking year off. But I doubt he'll do that. You know, he just dropped that project with Yellow Wolf a couple months back. And yeah. So yeah, that's my fucking stance on it. You know, artists could charge whatever the fuck they want. Either it's up to you if you're gonna fucking pay for it. And if if you just disagree with it that much, don't buy it and the artist won't fucking charge you that much. Again, they'll be sitting on a shitload of product that they can't fucking sell because they overcharged you. I think only certain artists can get away with that shit. And it looks like Caskey's one. Like I didn't realize Caskey was at the level where he could sell 1,000 copies of $100 mixtape. I just didn't. But yeah. I'll leave that at that. Let's get into some more news that I saw. Let's get into some little Kung Fu Vampire news. I saw him take to Twitter. He posted up pretty much, his discography. He's been dropping albums since 2000, 21 years. And he's dropped all the albums that he's dropped with the years next to it. And then 2022, it looks like we're getting an album called Black Heart Machine from Kung Fu Vampire. Now, Kung Fu Vampire, I've become more of a fan of in the last couple years because this dude is just elevating, getting better. And yeah, I mean, I first became familiar with Kung Fu Vampire, I want to say probably during the Dead Sexy era. And it just wasn't really for me at that time. But the way this dude's progressed with his music, by the time he dropped Look Alive, I was like, okay. And I thought he was going to be M&E on that shit because it was, everybody on M&E at the time was on that fucking album. And that was a dope album. But then he dropped Come Dawn in 2019. Come Dawn, top 20 album for me. I remember because I remember recording that fucking episode like it was yesterday. For the top 20 albums of 2019. And that album was like, all right, this dude is legit. Like, this dude knows how to write songs, raps his ass off, gets good guest features, all that shit. The Come Dawn album was like, I was fully on board with Kung Fu Vampire. I was like, this dude is the shit. This dude is slept on and just dope as fuck. And then, of course, earlier this year, he dropped the Double Dragon album, like, at least a top 10 album. We still got a couple months to go. At least a top 10 album, Double Dragon, if not top 5. Probably more towards top 5. But I'll say at least top 10 because I don't know what we got coming for the rest of 2021. But that Double Dragon album is so fucking good. Buckshot and Kung Fu Vampire, they both fucking killed that album. And it was another thing of, for me, for Kung Fu Vampire, like, this dude's legit. So Black Heart Machine coming next year. I'm on board for this shit. I'm on board. I'm on the Kung Fu Vampire train. Let's fucking go. I'm looking forward to this album. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got in store for this next project. He doesn't have the full band anymore. I remember when he was in the full wardrobe, painted fucking dome, like in, rocking the metal nails. And, he had that fucking, like, it was like a big ass fucking band too. And, now it's just him. So I'm looking forward to Black Heart Machine. I just wanted to talk about Kung Fu Vampire, give him his props real quick, just because dude is super talented, raps his fucking ass off, man. Very underrated, and just been putting out very good work in the last few years, in my personal opinion. Peep that Double Dragon album if you haven't yet. And if you do like that Double Dragon album and you haven't checked out any of his solo shit, I recommend Come Dawn. I think that's his best shit yet. So yeah, peep that shit. And I'm looking forward to new Kung Fu Vampire. That dude is legit dope. Very legit dope. Now let's get into some fucking Twiztid news, man. They dropped Unlikely Prescription. What was it? Was it last week? Yeah. Yeah, last week. They dropped Unlikely Prescription and they posted up a thank you graphic of them getting up on all sorts of charts. They got number 1 on Amazon bestseller in hard rock. That's dope. Number 4 on the iTunes rock charts. Number 25 overall on the iTunes charts. 29 overall in Canada iTunes. 39 in Australia iTunes. And they've got 2 million plus streams on Spotify alone with the Unlikely Prescription album. So yeah, a lot of people seem to like it. I see in my comments, mentions, and all that shit, a lot of love for Unlikely Prescription. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan for this, but shout out and props to Twiztid for doing what I think they really wanted to do with Unlikely Prescription. They're really trying to reach out to a new fan base, you know? While not abandoning the Juggalos. I really don't feel like they're abandoning Juggalos. I see people saying this shit. They've been saying it for years. I really don't feel like they do. You know, they do interviews and they still shout out Juggalos in interviews and all that shit. So I don't think they're abandoning their core fan base while trying to acquire this new fan base with this rock style that they're fucking going in. And, you know, speaking of them doing interviews and shouting out Juggalos, I was watching it in the pre-production of the show. They were on the knotfest Twitch channel doing a disc dive for the Unlikely Prescription album with Ryan J. Downey, and Monoxide had some technical fucking problems and wasn't able to do it. He was there in the beginning, but quickly froze. It looked like it was a live, it was on Twitch, so it was a live stream. But it ended up just being Madrox and Draven doing this. I listened to most of it, and yeah, they definitely shouted out Juggalos in the interview. So that's, it's where I'm getting my point of them not abandoning their core fan base. But the interview was pretty dope. They basically were just talking about the making of the album, breaking down, making of the videos for certain songs that they've done and all that shit. And yeah, it'd probably be a better listen for people that actually like the album. But, it was still fun. It's always good to listen to fucking Madrox talk and, Draven, the official third member of Twiztid at this point. I don't know. I mean, he's in all the graphics and all that shit. But he was in the interview, and peep it. It is up on YouTube if you just Google Twiztid Knotfest. It should pop up because that's where I was watching it on YouTube. I forget the name of the channel, but it's like the Drunken Ninja Master channel. That whoever runs that channel posts all the cameos, Instagram lives, Facebook lives, and whoever runs that page, shout out to them, because a lot of the info that I get from those lives come from that channel. So whoever runs that channel, props to them for posting up, interviews and live streams like this that normally, or maybe not normally, but that might have been missed throughout, the regular week. So yeah, peep that shit is up on YouTube. And then Twiztid announced they are joining Static X Fear Factory, Dope on a tour that will be starting in February. So like 5 months out, and they're only joining the last 2 weeks of the tour. From, it looks like, let me zoom in here. They'll be joining in Ohio and then finishing out in California with Static X, Fear Factory, and Dope. So yeah, and they're going to be opening up twiztid. Been in the game for 20 plus years, reverting back to an opening act. Just because I think they kind of have to, especially if they want to break into this rock crowd. So yeah, twiztid opening up for Static X. I didn't even realize that Static X was really a thing like that. Still, I know their singer passed away. Rest in peace to Wayne Static. But yeah, that's kind of big news that twiztid dropped. They're not coming anywhere near my area. I don't know if I would necessarily go to the show. I couldn't name a Static X song, a Fear Factory song, or a Dope song for that matter. So, not familiar with any of those bands, but twiztid is performing. I believe it's a 20th anniversary of Static X tour. So it's a pretty big tour. I don't know the size of the venues that they're playing on these shows. So can't tell if they're big or not. I have no idea. But twiztid will be up on that tour starting in February. And then twiztid also announced they're dropping some shit for Record Store Day, Black Friday. So Black Friday Record Store Day is going down this year, November 26th. And I've already got a list going. Record Store Day put out a preliminary list. More titles to be added, but twiztid is on that list. And they are dropping, I tried to warn you, a limited edition 7-inch die cut picture disc, limited to 1,000 copies. And that shit's on my list. I always cop their Record Store Day exclusives. Figure I'd put that little piece of news out there. And I tried to warn you. Sounds like a new song. Sounds like a new song to me. Doesn't sound familiar at all. So definitely going to cop that shit. And Record Store Black Friday going down November 26th. I'm hyped for it. And yeah. So figure I'd throw that fucking news out there. Because why the fuck not? And let's get into keeping it a little bit, keeping it M&E related. Joe Black is missing from Alla Zuliloo. He's missing. He is on the milk cartons all across the Zulaverse. Joe Black is missing. There is a phone number to call if you've seen him. Last seen in an arbor, MI. So if you've seen this man, and he actually commented on my post on Instagram. I asked where in the world is Joe Black. He said, as of a few days ago, he was in Carmen, San Diego. So he was in Carmen, San Diego. No word or no sights have been reported since of Joe Black's whereabouts. So if you've seen Joe Black, I don't know what happened. He must have just kind of, wandered off at some point this week from Zool, and he just, hasn't been seen. So if you've seen Joe Black, fucking let me know. Let them know. Let the fucking Zool boys know and all that shit. But they did put up on their Tuesday Night Terror streams. They did give the information for VIP packs for the Blood Moon movie Massacre that they got going down October 29th in Michigan, where they got the drive-in. And they're going to be watching, I think it was Rob Zombie's Halloween movie. And they got the merch packs. They got the jerseys, t-shirts. It's all the Blood Moon merch with that fucking dope-ass logo from Mr. Eight Legs. That hoodie is fucking fire. I'm not going to the Blood Moon movie Massacre drive-in, but I might have to cop that hoodie. I am currently in the market for new hoodies, and that Zool hoodie might be a new acquisition of mine because that shit is fucking fire. And so yeah, you can get the tickets and or VIP merch packs at deadlinedrivein.com if you're going to go to that shit. So yeah, I believe they said the shit would be fully embroidered, but I'm not 100% that they said that. But if you know Zool, you know that they press up high quality shit. I expect nothing less of this merch drop right here for this Blood Moon movie massacre that they're doing next month. So go peep that shit. Yeah. And speaking of $100 mixtapes and all that shit that we was ranting about 10, 15 minutes ago, ICP put up a new commercial for the Walking Home series that Violent J is releasing and kind of gave us new information, or not kind of, they did give us new information on the merch that you will be receiving from these CDs. So we got the Walking Home Monday. It came with the CD single, a backpack, a beanie, and a comic book. So with these new for Tuesday through Friday, it looks like we're going to be getting the CD single, or I won't be buying it, but if you do choose to buy it, you will get the CD single, a comic book, a vinyl single, and 1/4 of a board game. Now, I think it was described that the board game would be on the packaging. The fuck, man. Packaging. Is that even the right? I don't know. But it'll be with the vinyl artwork. There we go. The vinyl artwork. And so you'll have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, that's 4 fucking days. Math is difficult. Leave me alone. I used my fingers. You saw it on camera. I used my fingers to count the days. But anyway, you're now getting a board game. They're saying, fuck the backpack. No more backpacks. Maybe not the best idea, but maybe it was a good idea so you could put all this shit in the backpack. So you do get the one backpack. You will get a CD single and now a vinyl single and 1/4 of a board game from Tuesday to Friday. So now it's becoming a fucking board game. It's evolved. I kind of like this merch pack better. For $117, I'll keep it real. I'd rather spend $117 on a CD single, comic book, the vinyl, and the 1/4 of the board game versus getting a backpack every fucking time. That didn't look like the highest of quality, just to be honest. But I know people are buying it, so shout out to them for being able to charge the $117. I just don't think it's necessarily for me. So Monday you got the backpack and the beanie to put on to gather your shit for Tuesday through Friday, to get the CD singles, the comic book, and the vinyl single. And they also announced the the Walking Home weekend off. So you get the weekend off version, which comes with the CD single, comic book, board game that will include cards, figures, and instructions to complete, the 1/4 pieces for that game. So you'll get the single, the comic book, and the rest of the complete version of the board game. So I think this is a lot better than it was originally announced, where you would get a backpack for every day of the week or some sort of bag or satchel or whatever the fuck. It has now evolved into a game. And yeah, I like this better. I would be more motivated to buy this for the $117. As of right now, I'm not there. I'm still waiting for the end product, the CD with every song on it. And if he charges $117, I'll probably fucking spend the $117 for the EP. This will be the most, we've talked about it, the most expensive EP. Again, charging for the art. And I gotta say, I did see the comic book um in the commercial that they posted, and the artwork for that comic book, at least for that first issue, looked fucking fire. That artwork was super dope for that comic book. I really like that style. Whoever the artist is drawing the artwork for that comic book, because that shit was fucking fire. But I thought this was news that needed to be spoken of for this week's show. And yeah, a new variation of the Walking Home series is now fucking here. So yeah. Are you going to buy it? Are you not? Are you more motivated to buy it now that you're going to get two pieces of audio, the CD and the vinyl, than you were before just going to get, backpack comic book CD? Let me fucking know if we're already sold on buying it or not. But keeping it psychopathic related, bighoodoo was reaching. This dude was fucking reaching this week. Reaching, man. Holy shit. Never seen somebody reach so fucking hard in my life, but 50 Cent posted up on Instagram a video clip of a new song from DaBaby and I think Lil Wayne. And 50 Cent wrote, "This is the best song I have heard about mental health. They snapped on this one." And DaBaby is in the clip wearing clown paint. He's got, clown makeup on. Nothing I would fucking double take at. But then bighoodoo took to Instagram and he wrote, "Come on, son. Really, 50 Cent? You could have called or just texted ICP. We would have hooked you right up. Imitation is the best form of flattery, but ask Eminem first next time." Laughing face emoji, 100 emoji. Now, I don't even really know what Hoodoo is talking on here. I watched the clip. I didn't go watch the full video, but I watched the clip. DaBaby's on here rapping about his brother killing himself and shit, and he's got clown paint on. Other than the clown paint thing, I don't see how this is imitating ICP or anything like that. Outside of the clown paint, are people not allowed to paint their faces like clowns that are rapping at this point? Like, what was the point of this post from Hoodoo? Like, like I said, this is the biggest fucking reach I've seen. I asked people if he was speaking facts or fiction because, I mean, to be honest, I don't think what he said really made fucking sense. But people were saying he's spitting facts. I don't see it. I could get it if it was somehow more stealing from ICP's style, but outside of the painted face, I just don't see it. All I see is a big fucking reach from bighoodoo on there. Just a big reach, man. Like, the song sounded okay, I guess. I'm not familiar with DaBaby. I fucks with Lil Wayne, especially his older shit, Carter 1, 2, and 3 especially. Even though I fucks with the whole series, but I love those first few. And yeah, that was the reach of the week. We'll call that. Even though it's never been a segment and might not ever be a segment again, unless I see somebody reaching like this. That was the reach of the week, courtesy of bighoodoo. I don't know. Just wanted to fucking, I guess he just wanted to get in the mix this week somehow. And he did with that right there. So yeah. Yep. We are at over an hour in and we still got some more shit to talk about. You still tuned in? Over an hour in? Let me fucking know and let's keep fucking going. And shout out to Hoodoo for the reach. But we got new music dropping this upcoming Friday from an artist I fucks with heavy. Animal. Formerly, or no, not even formerly known as, also known as Crossworm. Crossworm does the intro and outro music for this very podcast. He's the inspiration behind the name of the podcast. I just fucks with Crossworm heavy. Been fucking with Crossworm for the last 15 years at least. And he's dropping a new album under a new persona called Animal. Is dropping this Friday. He's calling it synthwave, dark wave, dark pop. I think this is the project I've been waiting for from Crossworm. You know, his production style, what he calls dirtcore. He's going to be singing on this album. He did drop a single, and the single sounded really good. I'm hyped for this. I want people to know about Crossworm, so that's why I'm talking about it. But it's under the alias Animal, AN, the number 1 ML. Peep the shit, pre-save it, do whatever the fuck you can. Peep it. I fucks with this dude. Super heavy. So go peep that shit. It'll be dropping this Friday. I will probably be talking about it next week after I listen to it. But I wanted to get it into this week's episode. So yeah. And then we got LSP. They had Gorefest last week. And they had a couple announcements last week. Signings. They signed Darby Otrill and deverauxx to Lyrical Snuff Productions with the Experimental Drug series. We talked about this. I believe we talked about this last week, but big props to Darby Otrill and deverauxx for getting on to LSP. I'm looking forward to the album. And like I said, just in general, this is just a big old W. Throwing up that W right there for the underground in general. And then LSP also announced the signing of Nyro the Madman, I believe that's how you say it, to the Experimental Drug series as well. So Nyro the Madman also signed to Lyrical Snuff Productions at last week's Gorefest. So LSP steady making moves in the underground and signing artists. Very fucking dope. And glad to see them fucking, trying to carry that torch in the underground by signing new artists. And speaking of new artists, or not new artists, but speaking of LSP, Damian Quinn dropped his album, his newest project, Francis Dolaride is Dead. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it is up on YouTube, and I am looking up to see if it is up on the DSPs yet. And how many Damian Quinn artists are there? Holy shit, there's more than one. Doesn't look like it's up on Apple Music yet. I would assume it'll be up there soon, but he did drop this new project, and I did see him post saying that it is up on YouTube. So peep that shit when you get a chance. Shout out to Damian Quinn. Still looking forward to that final Dark Half album, whenever the fuck that'll drop. Waiting for that shit, just ever so impatiently patient, if you will. So yeah, new Damian Quinn is out there. And then one last thing before we bounce the fuck up out of here. Low-key, he's dropping a new fucking card game. It's a drinking game. I'm not a drinker. I'm a retired drinker. But he's got the Masks and Machetes Series 1 card game / drinking game. It's actually sold out. I checked before I started the show, and the shit sold out in like less than a day. So if you missed out, you missed out, but there will be 2 more series to drop. Series 1 is sold the fuck out already. Shout out to Low Key for selling that shit out and expanding his horizon and ventures into other shit like card games. So yeah. That's going to fucking wrap it up for me. I am dying of fucking thirst. I have no water anywhere near me. I just did an hour and 10 minutes without a fucking sip of water. And I am dehydrated as fuck. Dehydrated as shit right now. But I want to thank everybody that's tuned the fuck in right now. Much fucking love. Especially an hour and 10 minutes in. Thank you. And again, if you want the Beneath the Dirt merch, let me know. Hit me up on all my socials. Drop comments at me, whatever. If you want the Beneath the Dirt merch, let me know. And I will really dive into it and ask around about how to get good quality fucking merch done. Because I'm not trying to push out no bullshit. But thank you again for tuning in this week. Much fucking love. I'm Bone of the Beneath the Dirt podcast, and until next time, I'm out. Peace.